my loves, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading, but before we hop into it, I wanted to give a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, which is Audible. You guys know I love Audible. If you've not heard of them before, they're essentially a massive online platform full of audiobooks. They have podcasts, they have like a ton of different stuff on there. They have meditations, they have so many different things that you guys can go check out. It's like 10 out of 10, one of my most used apps of all time. I have it on my phone. I also use it online as well, just on my laptop, whatever I just have around. But I love it because of the convenience. Like I love learning new things. And when I'm driving, for example, I'm on long road trip, which I've been going on tons of long road trips lately, and listening to podcasts or listening to an audiobook is so nice. Or even when I'm like cooking, and if I'm making like a really large meal, I love to listen to a audiobook and then just catch up on my knowledge and just feel like I'm learning new things all the time. So I love it. The current book that I'm listening to on there is Llewellyn's Complete Book of Lucid Dreaming by Claire R. Johnson. This book is so phenomenal. If you guys have ever heard me talk about lucid dreaming before, you know I'm like an avid fan of lucid dreaming. I love going into a lucid dream because you can do so much with it. You can actually build new skills in a lucid dream, and you can do a bunch of wild stuff with your subconscious mind in there. So I highly recommend listening to this book because it opens up your entire world into how to lucid dream and also all of the magic within lucid dreaming. It's really, really cool. Also, if you guys want some other suggestions, listening to The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is completely life-changing. That book will automatically change your life to help you live a better reality. Also, any book by Dr. Joe Dispenza is amazing. I use Audible all the time, so I highly recommend checking it out. And if you guys want a free trial of Audible, go to audible.com/gemgoddess or text gemgoddess to 500-500. So definitely go check it out, guys. You guys can get one free audiobook and a 30-day free trial, and I highly recommend it. I know you guys will be as hooked as I am. Audible is like the best. So definitely go check them out. Hope you guys love them. And without further ado, let's hop right into today's video. Hello my loves, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading, and this one is all about your major successes that you will have in life. This can be talking about ones that you've already come across, because again, it is a general reading, so we're going to be pointing out all the different ones that you're going to come across, but you may have already come across some of these, and then some of them might be new and in your future for you. So I'm very excited about this video. I also do want to mention we have some new bracelets on the shop. I know I've been mentioning this a lot lately, but I've been getting super creative. So we have this beautiful labradorite bracelet that is actually coated in a sort of angel aura coating, and it is faceted. So these are new, they're limited edition. So if you're interested, definitely go check them out. This one is a blue opal one in the middle here. And then we also have new howlite bracelets. These ones are so cute, and it does come in a set as well. So go check it out if you guys are interested in them. The link will be down below if you guys are curious about them. So with that being said, if you guys are new to pick a card readings, I'm going to give you guys a quick little rundown of how they work. So over here we have pile number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you guys can take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing your pile, you can then scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that's linked to your specific card. Then you guys can skip ahead and watch your personal reading all about the major successes that you guys are going to have in life. And if you guys like to choose with crystals on the cards, let's pop some crystals on there right meow. All right, my loves, if you guys like to choose with crystals on the cards, here are our crystal options. Over here we have some citrine, then over here we have some tourmalinated quartz, then we have some amazonite, then over here we have some amethyst, and then over here we have some clear quartz. So again, take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing your pile, you can then scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that's linked to your specific card, my love. And then you guys can skip ahead and watch your personal reading. So without further ado, let's hop right into today's video. All right, my loves, if you guys chose group number 1, this is going to be your reading all about the major successes that you guys are going to have in life. So let's hop right into it. All right, my love, so pile number 1, here's what we have for you guys. We have the 6 of Cups being reversed, and we have the 9 of Cups upright, 3 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, and the Sun. So first off, I'm getting a huge feeling that you guys are like master manifestors, and that's going to be one of your greatest successes, is your ability to think about something that you desire and your ability to also attain it and just come into alignment with all the opportunities that you desire. Because the 3 of Pentacles right here talks about us in collaboration with people. It talks about us spreading our ideas. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for you guys to also spread your ideas, spread what you know. And I think that you're somebody who chases a lot of knowledge, and you're somebody who's also going to be able to share that knowledge. And it's almost like just like the right place at the right time kind of feeling that I get from this one. It's like anytime that you desire something, the people and the things that you need just show up for you to attain it, right? So anytime that you have an idea, every time that you have a wish, it's all of a sudden like the universe conspires that, you know, conspires in your favor and puts everything into alignment and aligns you to the people that you need. It aligns you to the opportunities and the events that you need in order to succeed at what you desire. It's like you literally, it's divine timing. You're in the right place, right time. Whenever you desire something, it's like the means to make it happen show up, right? It's like very divine. And I think throughout your life, you might notice, or at least from here on out, you might notice that anytime that you ask for something, all of a sudden you meet somebody the next day who's like, oh, I work in that field. Like, that's like, you know, what I do. And I'm like totally in alignment with that. You know, it's almost like the tools show up or the people show up that you need right when you need them. It's going to be very synchronistic. I see a lot of like synchronicity happening in your life, and paying attention to like colors and things, the signs that show you kind of like that you're on the right path, right? And I'm also seeing with the sun that you're going to manifest a lot of happiness in your life, a lot of money and a lot of happiness, and just things that you desire. It's almost like literally you could just write out manifestations and those will be your major successes in life. It's like literally whatever you desire, the 9 of Cups. And we all have this ability, but I think that you guys are going to really master this ability in your lifetime and really be able to hone in on it, because we all have the power of manifestation. We can all make all of our dreams a reality. We can make them all come true. But some of us become masters at it, and some of us don't even wake up or utilize that power that we have residing in us. And you guys are going to be somebody who does wake up that power and utilizes it in this lifetime. And with the sun here, this is literally talking about that ultimate abundance. It's like we're striving in happiness, confidence. We feel so good about ourselves. We live our life as if we were a child that's really stress-free. And so I think one of the successes that you're going to have in your life is you're going to get to a point, even if you're not there right now, or maybe you even are, but it's like a very fun life. The sun is all about something that's very fun, exciting, relaxing, joyful, playful. Your life will be very playful and fun. It's almost like you can have fun with life. You can let go of the stresses and just enjoy yourself. And it's interesting that you guys also chose citrine. So the color yellow is coming through a lot, and this deals with expression. And so another one of your big successes might come from your ability to express your emotions or express your ideas in a platform that gets received very well. And so I do think that you guys are going to become very creative at whatever it is that you decide to do. And it's something that I think is going to help you, you know, de-stress in life. It's going to be something that helps you be successful and make you feel successful. And yellow is also connected to abundance. It's connected to gold, which is connected to money, which is connected to, of course, your wealth and your abundance. And so I do think that there's a lot of wealth that shows up in here, your ability to attain what you desire, especially monetarily and things like that. And the 6 of Cups being reversed talks about being able to like let go of the past. So I do think that you are somebody who's going to make a lot of changes in your life. And this could also be talking about the fact that maybe you guys didn't come from a lot, or maybe at least it felt like you guys had to really work for something in your life. I think that you're going to go through a time of when it feels like you really have to work for a lot. But then all of a sudden things, I think, flip for you at a certain point of your life, and things become a lot easier. And I think it's because you guys have been through so much that you look at life in a very fun and easy way once you're finally out of that phase, because all of a sudden you're like, well, I know how bad life can be, and I know how hard it can be. And then all of a sudden life just becomes so much easier, so much better, so much more playful and fun after that. So with that being said, let's throw some more cards on here to get a little bit deeper, okay? So we have the card here of study. Let my mind be clear and strong. Let me study well and long. So this card talks about learning. So I think that you guys are an avid learner. I think that you're somebody who's going to find a lot of success in the amount of knowledge that you end up attaining through your life, because it seems like you're somebody who's very curious. You're very curious, and you're going to end up knowing a lot about a lot of things by the end of your life, like a lot, okay? Oh, look at that. We also have this card, which is confirmation about the abundance that we were talking about earlier. So this makes total sense. This just talks about, of course, monetarily, but also with happiness, also with many other things. Abundance comes in so many more forms than just than just money, right? So I do think you're going to have abundance in a lot of different ways. It's almost like whatever you wish for, you attain it. We also have the card here of imagination. So I think that a lot of your success comes from your ability to be very creative and your ability to be very like an inventor of new things, new ways of being. Your imagination, maybe you guys are creative, and look, she's like using her hands for something. So maybe you're somebody who uses your hands a lot in whatever work that you do or whatever creative field that you have. Then we also have the card of healing. So I do think that you guys are, like, one of your successes is your ability to come out of an adverse situation. Like the Six of Cups being reversed, I think that you guys have been through something that was really difficult, or maybe you're even still in that stage now, but it will end up healing and it will end up getting better. And then you're going to be living your life a lot more carefree, a lot more playfully. Okay? So healing talks about that, you know, you guys are you're going to, at some point in your life, whether you already have gone through it or not, there's going to be a point where you guys are healing from some sort of situation in your past and it ends up helping you guys create this better future, because it's almost like that character building in the beginning. Ooh, okay, so yeah, I just pulled out the next set of cards that we have, and this makes total sense. So the next card that we have here is Addict. So this helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. So there might be some point in your life where you realize that maybe you have certain addictions to certain things, and that could come in a lot of different forms. It could come in the form of food, drugs, alcohol, you know, addictions to toxic relationships can even be that, right? So maybe you guys are somebody who needs to stop, you know, compromising yourself in addictive ways or habitual ways, like staying with the wrong people for too long, or getting addicted to like other things. Like you can get addicted to almost anything on this planet, right? But I do think that you guys will come over some sort of adversity, and it might deal with your attachment issues to certain substances, people, places, or things, and you'll have to be able, you're gonna have that moment of needing to heal through it, get over it, and that's when you guys get to all of a sudden start to create your abundance in a very like large way, you know, and it all deals with getting over this old past that you guys had and healing from it. Then we also have artists, so expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. So I think that you're going to gain a lot of wisdom by going through what you go through. Right when you heal yourself, that's when you can finally recognize unhealed people and also offer healing and guidance to them, right? And so I think that your creativity and your, you know, you end up seeing life in a deeper way, right? So expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses. It's like you understand something that's so much deeper. You get to understand a way deeper meaning of life as you begin to go through this like healing of yourself. And so that'll be another one of your biggest successes, is to be able to let go of the past, being able to let go of your attachments. And that is where you're going to find your expansion into abundance and your expansion into more of this creative self. Then we also have the Monk card, which is, ooh, that scared me.
I'm sorry.
You're good. Thank you.
It's developing now into a darker tone.
Yes. Sorry guys, my friend just got here. So anyway, the next card that we have is the Monk card, which is selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. So I think that there's going to be this whole transformative moment where you guys almost have this spiritual awakening in your life, and it's when you guys go through this hardship, all of a sudden there's going to be this spiritual awakening, and it's going to lead you to your biggest successes. It's going to awaken you to realize your truest potential, and I think it's going to be very healthy for you guys. The next card that we have here is Messiah, so serving humanity with humility. So I think that you guys are going to recognize so much of like what you've been through, and you guys are going to have this huge desire to help other people through that. And I think that's going to be one of your biggest footprints that you leave behind on this planet, is the way that you then desire to help people. So I think that you're going to be doing something career-wise. You might even go through a huge career shift, for example, or maybe you're just helping friends in a similar way that you've helped yourself. But through helping yourself, you all of a sudden go through this like sort of almost kind of enlightenment process. And I don't really like using the word enlightenment because it has such a large meaning behind it, but I hope you guys just get my drift with that. But essentially you go through this sort of awakening process, this enlightenment process. And all of a sudden you see so much, you heal yourself, and you're going to desire to heal other people the same way that you have healed yourself. And then we also have here child orphan. So this might speak to some of you directly, or you can just look at the metaphorical part of this card. So maybe you're somebody who goes it alone a lot. So independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. So this could talk about your desire and need for independence in your life. And I do think that you will attain that, but there might be this moment in your life where you're going through this huge desire, just like, I want to be alone, I want to be independent. And you might feel a bit more like an outsider in your life, but that's because you're somebody that's, you know, kind of more of a pioneer. You're not somebody who follows and traces in the footsteps of other people. You guys seem a little bit more like a rebel, a little bit. And so you guys are kind of somebody who, you know, treads off the beaten path, because you're somebody who's a little bit more curious. You have a big curiosity, right? And that's why you're into studying. That's why you're into learning. And that's why you're going to gain so much knowledge in your lifetime, is because you're somebody who doesn't want to walk down the same footstep path that everyone else does. It just doesn't interest you, right? And that's where you're going to find your biggest success, is because your soul desires to create a brand new path that nobody's walked on before. Your soul desires to leave footprints on this planet that nobody else has left before, right? So that's why you guys have this intense curiosity. That's why you guys might have these addictive behaviors, because maybe there's a moment when your soul craves so much independence and craves so much, so many big things. But when we don't fulfill that, and when we're not fulfilling that, it can leave us feeling very void. And that's when we get addicted to certain things, is because our soul has a hole in it, you know, and it doesn't literally have a hole, but it's kind of like, you know, you have this void because your soul's like, I know that I came here for big things. I know that I came here to walk and leave new footprints on this earth, but I just don't know how to do it yet. And when you don't know how to do it, you know, you're kind of sitting with that hole, and anything that can fill it, whether that be food, people, places, things, substances, whatever, you know, that's a temporary fill, and that's why we get kind of addictions. But it's because you guys have this huge desire to do something that's more independent and more different. And that is also why we have this card coming up, is because this talks about the fact that you guys desire independence so much. You guys desire to do something that's so different, which is why you guys end up feeling alone, which is why you guys might find yourself not really relating to a lot of people, being an outsider at sometimes. And it's because your soul is like, we're supposed to walk on a different path than everyone else. That is why you actually feel like an outsider sometimes. That's why you feel that way, is because you're meant to make a new path. You're meant to be a leader and create a brand new path, okay? So that's what your soul is trying to tell you through this, right? And that's going to be where you find your biggest success. So the next card that we have over here, let me just brighten up this camera. The sun has been coming in and out of the clouds. So the next card that we have here and now. So this is talking about being in the present moment, is, you know, letting go of the past and letting go of the future and living in the present moment. Like, what can you do right now? What are choices you can create right now? So it'll be where you find your biggest success, is when you start to live in the present moment and you let go of the past. And that is when you guys can create a new life. So I do think that you guys are going to, whatever life that you're coming from is going to be so different from the life that you end up creating for yourself thereon after. Like, it's such a black and white difference. It's almost like your past, you came from something really difficult, or it might have been that you came from, it's just going to be a huge contrast. The life that you create versus the life that you came from. It could even be that you guys grew up in a deep religious family and then you guys end up breaking out of that, for example, or, you know, that could apply to you in many different directions, right? So somehow I'm getting this vibe that you guys are coming from something so different from when you grow up, and you make such a massive, huge shift, huge identity shift in your life. At some point in your life, there's going to be that huge identity shift, and that is going to be where you find that big, huge success. It's like you grew up in maybe a more limiting lifestyle at first, or some sort of just very different lifestyle at first, and it's going to be a whole 180, and that's going to be one of your biggest successes, is to create that new life, because you are going to do, my love, a 180 from what you came from there and to where you're going, and it's going to be one of the most proudest things that you've done. It's going to lead you towards a lot of abundance, a lot of healing, and a lot of purpose. And then we also have chop wood. So it's almost like you guys came from something where you guys had to work really hard. I think that there's going to be a point in your past where you guys had to work really hard. And depending on the age that you are when you're watching this, it could even be something that's still coming towards you, because it really depends on the age when you're watching this. But there's going to be a moment in your life when you guys go through something that's very difficult, and it feels like you have to work every day, and it feels like you have to grind every day. But then all of a sudden there's this kind of awakening, there's this realization once we let go of our addictive behavior and we start to use our creative expression in the way that our soul really desires, and we start to live more in the present moment, let go of the past, and we stop, playing victim of our past. We stop playing, whatever. And then there's going to be that huge shift all of a sudden where you guys birth into this new life. And look at how free she is in this card. Like, we went from chopping wood and feeling like bleh, to all of a sudden like living in our fairy tent, cave, whatever, pillar, and feeling like we are flying, we are floating, we have our independence. Like, she looks independent, she looks excited, she looks happy, she looks also relaxed, less stressed, and like she's just living her life, right? So I think there's going to be that huge 180 for you guys at some point in your life. So with that being said, at group number 1, we're also going to shuffle this last deck of cards to get the last few things of inspiration, or inspiration. That works too for you guys in this card reading. So we have Will-o'-the-Wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows. So what you guys don't realize about your life is your biggest success stems from the hardships that you went through. It's almost like your soul planned, and souls do kind of like have a blueprint of what they want to go through in life in order to attain what they desire to attain in their lifetime. So for you guys, your treasures are hidden in the shadows. So your biggest accomplishments would have never been able to be achieved. And you're going to realize this once you reach your accomplishments. Those accomplishments would have never come to fruition if you didn't go through the hardship that you are going to or have gone through in your life. So again, it depends on which age that you are when you're listening to this, but there's going to be a moment of hardship, okay? Whether you guys have already had it or going to have it. And you're going to realize that your success is directly tied to that. And it's not tied to that because, that person's going to be the thing that gives it to you. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the struggle that you have to go through and the struggle that you have to go through in order to get out of it, the willpower that it's going to take, the character building that it's going to give you, will give you so much more confidence. And it's going to boost your creativity. It's going to boost your knowledge about life. You're going to have such a deeper understanding of life. And it's going to be where your independence and abundance really starts to stem from. Then we also have power of community gathering around. This kind of reminds me of the 3 of Pentacles that we had over here. So the power of community, this is really sticking out to me in the form of, I think you're going to go through a huge shift in who your friend groups are. And it's like another one of your big successes is the people that you end up surrounding yourselves by in your future. So that is going to be a huge thing for you guys as well. So that is what I am seeing for you guys. Oh, also want to point out we have 62 and 26. That's such a wild thing that we have 62 and 26. That equals an 8 right there. So that could talk about risk taking. It could also talk about breaking through limitations as well. But 8s are like good luck. So that's why I talk about risk taking, because it's a lot of good luck in your life. You're going to realize that luck has been on your side the whole time, even when it feels like it has not been. Okay. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future. And if so, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. All right, so group number 2, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about your major successes in life. So let's hop right into it. All right, so group number 2, here's what we have for you guys. We have the Hanged One, which is the Hangman, being reversed. Then we have the 5 of Swords, the Princess of Pentacles reversed, the Wheel of Fortune, Princess of Cups, the 2 of Wands, and then the Death being reversed over here. So let's talk about what is going on, what's going to be your major successes. First off, I'm getting this sort of energy from you guys that you guys are somebody who sees life in a different perspective than most people. You guys are a little bit of an outsider or a little bit of a rebel. You guys kind of like one of your major successes is going to come from the fact that you guys do things a little differently. You guys see life a little differently than most people. It's almost like you guys are maybe even a little bit ahead of your time, or you're kind of like a way shower. You guys are also very sensitive to like other people or thinking patterns or things. Like it's like you have your own very deep way of thinking. You guys are very smart, and whenever you see things that just are not right or are out of justice or just like are limiting, when you see people that limit somebody else, for example, or limit you, you kind of like don't take that. You are like, no, nobody's going to control me or tell me what I can and cannot do. Nobody's going to take advantage of me, da 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 da. And I think this stems from maybe you guys have even experienced a lot of that in your past. You've experienced being that way in your past, where you guys were maybe limited or, you know, had like authority issues or something like that. And I think that from that, you kind of grew into this person who realized the wrongness of limiting somebody, of, you know, putting so many rules on somebody. I think that I'm getting this sense of like this free spirit sort of energy, especially with this Two of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. There's this very like free spirit type of energy. Like, I'm just going to take what comes, like whatever life throws at me, I'm going to roll with the punches. I'm going to do it. It's just like this very free living sort of spirit that you guys have. And I think that one of your major successes is going to come from your ability to live life very freely and to go with the flow of life, and to not take no ish from people. Okay. So I think one of the major things that you're going to learn is, you know, people that take advantage of you. I think that you've experienced that in the past, is people that take advantage of you, or depending on what age you are, that when you're watching this, maybe you're still going to experience a little bit of this and go through this. But essentially one of the things that you're going to go through is people taking advantage of you. And because of that, you're going to learn very quickly that you don't want to put up with that kind of stuff. And that's going to be one of your major successes, is when you realize that, because all of a sudden the tables turn after that. Whereas before, kind of almost in the beginning of your life, you're going to experience a lot of people maybe, you know, stepping over you or stepping boundaries and things like that. Right when you learn these things, you're going to become a lot more free of a spirit, a lot more like go with the flow. I create my own destiny. And right when you have these certain boundaries and you realize who you really are internally, I think that you're going to experience so much. Like this Wheel of Fortune, it's almost like life sort of throws at you kind of these curveballs, these really unexpected things. And it's almost like you are somebody who's also quite unpredictable, and life has been quite unpredictable for you. It's kind of like, whoa, what's happening now? Like, whoa. But because of this, it's building you into somebody who is that rebel free spirit type of energy. Because when you're somebody who has everything going perfectly for you all the time, we kind of develop into people that are not like travel wanderers who like change and like this and like that. Like if we never experience change in our life, we're not somebody who's going to be maybe attracted to it. We're going to get used to our bubble, and that's what we're going to enjoy. But you're somebody whose soul kind of desired to come here to experience a lot, to explore a lot. I think you are a very curious person who loves to see new things. You get excited when new things come around. You get excited by change and all that kind of jazz. And I see this like sort of free spirit sort of energy with you guys. And I think that that's where you're going to find so much of your success. So much of your success is going to come because you're going to be somebody who experiences so much of life. I think that you guys are going to be travelers, for example, especially the Two of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. You guys are total travelers. You guys are total readers. You're ambitious. You like to experience all sorts of different flavors of life. You go to an ice cream shop and you're like, I don't know what I want. I want to try it all. And they're like, don't you have a favorite flavor? Do you like chocolate? Do you like berries? What do you like? You're like, I don't know. I like it all. You know, like you're somebody who's like, you enjoy and you find beauty in everything, and you're going to be somebody who develops into that, right? And then we also do have this Princess of Cups as well. And so this is somebody who is quite unorthodox. You know, you're somebody who is unpredictable. Like, for example, the Princess of Cups, which is the Page of Cups in regular tarot, the original Rider-Waite tarot that most of the definitions are based off of, that particular card, the page is standing with a fish coming out of his cup. Like normally there's like a fish that's like swimming out of this cup. Who walks around with a fish in their cup? You know what I mean? You guys are the person that you could find on the street walking around with a fish in their cup, okay? Because that's how different you are. You just live life not based on the rules. In fact, you're a rule breaker, and that's going to be where you find so much of your success, because you don't you look at life and you're one of those people that's like, I don't understand rules. Why did humans make up rules when we just live on this floating planet in the middle of space and we're making rules for ourselves? Like, I can't, it's weird for me to walk around with a fish in my cup. Why? Why is that weird? Like, you guys are the ones to ask big questions like that. You guys are the natural philosophers. And so one of your biggest things is your ability to be that free thinker. You're a total free thinker, and you're going to find so much success by doing that, because you're somebody who's so outside of the norm, the normal bubble of things. You're outside of the norm. You're not totally regular. And look at these. There's like flying fish, for example, in this card. I didn't even notice that until just now. These are flying fish. You guys are that kind of person. You guys are that kind of person that you think of things that people are like, huh? What? But that is where you're going to find your biggest success. You are going to notice that life works out so well for you when you embrace your weirdness, your quirkiness, all those crazy thoughts that you have, you guys. You know, you're the one that's like, you're kind of like the Elon Musks of this world, you know, totally unorthodox, totally unpredictable, but so smart because of it. You know, you've probably had your fair share of life where you were taken advantage of and walked all over, but it's created you to see life in a new perspective. And you're that one who walks around being like, yes, we're going to occupy Mars. We're going to do that. I'm totally down with that. I feel like you guys are ones that, you know, you hear like Elon Musk, for example, talking about stuff like that. And you're like, hell yeah, that's totally normal. I totally get that. Whereas other people hear that and they're like, huh? The future's going and that's happening right now? What? And you guys are like, what do you mean what? Isn't that obvious? Like, of course we're going to do that. Like, isn't that the obvious path of life? Like, we've been to the moon. Isn't Mars next? Like, that's you guys, you know, you're just like, isn't that normal? I feel like that's totally cool. I feel like that's right on target. You know, you guys are totally like outside of the box thinkers. And I think that you're somebody who's, you know, like just very unpredictable. You're somebody who I think, you know, you get the opportunity to move to Spain and you're like, yee, let's do it. All right. You know, you're such a free spirit, and that's where you're going to find so much success, is because you're going to, right when you start to embrace this, that is when life is going to throw you all of these opportunities that are of your wildest dreams. Like, all of a sudden it's going to throw you the opportunity to, you know, be part of, like, for example, like SpaceX, or like go to Spain, or like go to the most random parts of the world doing the most random things. All of a sudden, you know, you're like traveling and backpacking through the whole world, and then it's like whatever. Like, this is you guys, you know, coming up with the grandest ideas, the craziest, wildest dreams. That's you guys. You're a big dreamer, big thinker, and you're outside of the box because you're here to move the world outside of its current norms. And that's even with philosophies and ways of thinking. You know, you might notice that you think something and the rest of the world is slowly catching up to that way of thinking, you know? Ideologies, philosophies, all that jazz, okay? And then we also have death being reversed. You are here to change the planet. You're here to change the world. You're here to make a whole new pathway for people. You're here to build that new pathway, to tread new waters, to be a pioneer, to be original. Okay, so that is what we got over there. So your biggest successes is how much you're going to be well-traveled. Another one of your biggest successes is the ideas that you come up with. It's totally different, totally out of the ordinary. Wheel of Fortune is also when we get big successes. But as long as you continue doing what's authentic to you, those successes will never cease or stop. Because sometimes, one good thing to know about this is sometimes the Wheel of Fortune, whenever we come across big fortune, sometimes we also go through phases of having like a lot of struggle and a lot of hardship. But when you guys are living from your authentic self, this freedom self, that is when you're never going to stop receiving. Okay, so talking about that, let's go into the next few cards that we have over here. So we have letting go. Okay, so of course, this is talking about letting go of what you guys have probably experienced in the past, letting go of the judgment of others, letting go of, you know, letting people take advantage of you and walk all over you. So that's going to be a big thing in your life. And one of your biggest successes is your ability to not stay attached to certain things. Because I think life is going to be it's going to change a lot for you guys. Okay, so pile number 2, life is going to be very unpredictable for you guys. And one of your biggest successes and one of your biggest strong suits is your ability to go with the flow and go with the change. Then we also have best possible decision. So I think there's going to come a moment in your life where you're maybe at a crossroads. And for you guys, you're going to choose I feel like you're going to choose something that's unorthodox. It's not like a regular choice for people. You know, people in your family might be like, you're making a what decision? You are moving to where? You're doing what? And you're going to realize that, yeah, that was the best possible thing you could have ever done for yourself. You're going to be like, oh, dang, that was great. Oh my goodness. It's going to bring you towards so much of your success. And then we also have confidence. So another one of your guys' biggest successes is your ability to be confident in who you are, no matter what society says. Because as I was saying, society is probably going to look at you guys like you're crazy because you guys really think outside of the box. That's just who you are. And your ability to find your confidence in that and to find your power in that, to realize that that's just who you are. And when you guys really accept that and integrate that, that is going to be, again, where a lot of your abundance and your confidence comes from. Is when you just start really believing in yourself. And your belief in yourself is going to bring you so much success. Then we also have divine guidance. So you're going to realize that your life you're just meant for this. Okay? Like, I feel like life has been trying to guide you in this direction for so long, and you're going to finally realize that. You're going to be like, oh, yeah. And I think that you're also divinely guided in general by your guides, your angels, all that kind of jazz. Yeah. Yes. Then we do also have safe home. So I think that you guys are huge travelers. I think that you guys might live in random places across the planet in your lifetime. But one of your biggest successes is going to be, I do think you're going to eventually kind of settle down. And I think that that's going to be one of those moments where you're like, whoa, that was really needed. And you're going to really enjoy doing that eventually. So yeah. And your ability to create a very safe, loving environment for yourself. Whereas you might have grown up in something that kind of wasn't. And that's why you have kind of maybe authority issues in your life. It's maybe why you have certain of these, like, I need to live my life free with no control and no foundation, because maybe you were suppressed so much earlier. So I do think that one of your other biggest successes is being able to feel safe and secure again and feel good with having foundation and security. Whereas I think that you guys might be running from it for a small period of your life, okay? So next few cards, look what we have next, guys. I can't make this ish up. We have the Rebel card. So challenges authority to affect social change. This is exactly what we've been talking about this whole time. Rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. So yeah, you guys are somebody who's going to be very focused on social change, change for yourself, because you know that you don't want limitations on you, and you don't think that limitations should really be on anybody, right? Kind of like what we were talking about earlier. So that fits in so well. So one of your biggest successes is when you become very confident in who you are and you kind of break free from people pleasing. Then we also have networker, enhances unity through the sharing of information. So you guys are definitely going to affect something in a big way, like maybe through social media or something, just living free and really speaking your mind. You guys might get involved in politics for a little while, or might get involved in waking people up in some sort of way. Okay, so enhances unity through sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. Then we also have child magical, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. So you guys don't want to be limited at all. You guys are going to be waking up this innate magical ability that's in you guys, and you guys are going to want to share that to other people and wake them up to realize that, we don't have to be living our life according to what society says, and like society is so limiting. That's like, oh, you should go to school to work as an accountant, and not saying that that's bad. Like if you guys want to be an accountant, that's totally cool. Like my accountant is like really cool. I love him. He's amazing. But, like, for example, I feel like you guys our desire to show people that they can be whatever they want, whereas, like, for example, a lot of people put on have this idea that getting an average, normal job is what is safe and secure, and that everybody should do that, and no matter what their dreams are, they should just go to something that's safe and secure. If you guys want something that's safe and secure, that's totally cool. But I feel like those of you who chose this pile, you want something more, and you don't really want to be locked down to anything, because that just doesn't really make sense to you guys. So yeah, there's this whole other, you guys know what I mean. I feel like you guys are the pile that really just knows what I mean here. Anyway, our next few cards, we have Orphan. This talks about going it alone again. So we have this reiteration of going it alone, creating a brand new path, going off the beaten path. So you guys might be somebody who feels a little bit like an outsider, but it's because your soul desires to not do things the normal way. You guys look at what normal life is and you guys are confused by it. It's like you guys were raised in a normal society, but at the same time, you're like, for some reason, your soul just rejects it. Your soul's like, I don't understand why this is normal. Like, it's all that you guys have ever known, but at the same time, it doesn't feel right to you. So yeah, you guys might feel a bit like an outsider at times, but that's going to be one of your biggest gifts and one of your biggest successes is the fact that you guys have this, because it's going to help you pioneer a brand new way of life that people have never even seen before. You're going to be like an originator. You're original, okay? And we also have exchanging gifts. And so this is kind of like magic kind of popping out of nowhere. I think one of your guys' biggest successes is realizing that the opportunity has been right in front of you the whole time. And you're going to realize that abundance was in front of you the whole time. I think that there's going to be this whole moment in life when you're like, whoa, it was here this whole time. And life is like amazing now. So yeah, and I also think that you guys in life get magical surprises constantly. Like magical fairies. Look at these two. They look so similar. And it's a lot of pink too. So this could be, higher heart chakra stuff. So being surprised with a lot of love, a lot of affection is going to be another biggest success of your life and your ability to share that. Then we also have the card here of imagine. So your imagination is going to also be one of your biggest successes, and it's going to lead you to a lot of abundance and a lot of fun in your life. Like Page of Cups has so much fun. So one of your biggest successes is how much fun you're going to be able to have with your life and how much freedom. Like if I could sum up your guys' pile in 3 words, it would be fun is going to be a big success, freedom is going to be a massive success, and experience. You guys are going to experience so much of life, have so much freedom and a lot of fun. And so those are going to be like your biggest successes, is your ability to live a life that is very free, very fun, very enjoyable, and still feel your success throughout it and be the originator of brand new things. So that is what I'm seeing there. So before we end this reading, I'm going to shuffle this deck of cards right here to get any last info for you guys. So pile 2, any last info for pile 2? All right, let's see what we got. We got closing door, completion. So this deals with radical change in your life. The number 5 is sticking out to me more than ever. It's like opening this door of magic, realizing that you're not limited by this confined space. Because when you're in a room, it feels like you're in a confined space. You're somebody who's like, I'm going to open the door and see what's outside. Even if nobody's done it before, you're like, I'm going to be the one to do it. I want to open up the door. I want to see what's out there. So you're kind of like that pet that whenever the door gets opened, you're like, I'm going outside. I'm squeezing my way through. I'm going to sneak out. Like, you guys are totally that sort of vibe. And the 5 deals with a lot of major change in your life. So again, that is what I'm seeing there. Pile number 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future. And if so, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. All right, so group number 3, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be a reading all about big successes that you guys are going to experience and have in your life. So we'll top right into it. All right, pile number 3, we already have such a deep theme right off the bat. Woo, there's a lot going on over here. So what we got for you guys, we have the Lovers, Queen of Cups, 10 of Cups, King of Pentacles, and then the 3 of Swords being reversed at the end. So let's talk about it, you guys. First off, the fact that you guys have so many cup cards and then the Lovers right here, one of your biggest successes in life is going to be the loving connection that you guys make. There's going to be like a love of your life. It is going to be very important, and you're going to feel like it's one of your biggest successes, is having found somebody that you relate to so deeply. And there's going to be this whole whole union between you two, where you two are like each other's counterpart, like twin flame soulmate kind of energy that's going on. So yeah, I really think that that's going to be one of your guys' biggest successes, and you're going to feel so proud of it. Like, look at these two over here with this divine connection, and then you also see them right there in this card as well with this beautiful divine connection. Like, I really think you guys are going to find like your partner in crime per se in this lifetime. You guys are going to find that really deep love. But I also want to point out the Three of Swords being reversed. There is going to be heartbreak early on in life. I don't think the first time that you fall in love is going to be with your soulmate, or there could be heartbreak in different ways. Again, it is a general reading, so this could play out in so many different ways. But the major things that I'm kind of picking up on here is early on in life, you're going to experience some sort of like heartbreak. And that's not even going to matter to you, because that's going to be something that helps develop you. And so you're going to realize that heartbreak ended up being your biggest success and ended up being the best thing that could have ever happened to you, because it led you to finding the right person. Whereas before, you may have been disillusioned, because love can make you feel lots of things, right? And we can fall in love. Our potential to fall in love is like massive. We don't just fall in love with soulmates and twin flames, right? We can fall in love with many different people. And so I think one of the greatest things that you're going to realize is that the love that you had before in your life, it served its purpose. It was there to teach you divine things, but it's also you're going to look back on that and realize that it was the best thing that ever happened to you, because you're going to realize that you weren't meant to be with those other people. They were not meant for you. That happened, and maybe you were heartbroken at the time, like, I lost the best thing that ever happened to me. But then once you actually meet this real person, you're going to be looking back on your past. You're going to be like, oh, I am so glad that didn't work out, baby. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it's like looking back on that, it's like, dang, I have something that's so much better now than what I've experienced in my past. And so yeah, that's coming up as a huge major success for you guys, is literally this connection. That's like the main focus of this pile. We do also have some extra information over here, and I'm going to get into this King of Pentacles soon. But yeah, it's almost like this heartbreak that you've experienced in the past. Actually, let's get into this now, because I'm totally getting a message. So this heartbreak that you've experienced in the past help you become the most very independent. It also is going to excel you in your career somehow. So somehow heartbreak that you're going to, again, I do want to point out, it depends what age that you are when you're listening to this. You may have already experienced this, or maybe you're about to experience this. It really depends on what age that you are when you're listening to this, right? Because this might be in your past right now, this heartbreak, or it might be something that you may yet experience. Again, it's a general reading, so depending on how old you are will kind of depend what stage of this that you're at, right? But one thing that you're going to realize is that there is going to be heartbreak that you do experience. And you're going to realize that it's going to excel you in your career more than you've ever experienced. You're going to be like, wow, like I would have never accomplished what you've accomplished. You're going to attain a lot. It's almost like you conquer so much of your life because of this heartbreak, right? And then this new love that you're going to experience after this heartbreak is going to be so wildly, deeply connected, like spiritually connected, deeply loving. And it's also going to inspire you to attain more and even accomplish even more success in your life. But yet still, it's almost like that even with this success, it almost doesn't even matter. It does matter, because you're still going to be very proud of what you accomplish career-wise. It's still going to be something that you're so proud of. But whatever this is, you guys, looks so beautiful. Like the amount of deep emotion that's between lovers, Queen of Cups and Ten of Cups is like, whoo. The Ten of Cups, let's talk about that for a second. This talks about the feeling that you've accomplished every aspect of life. The Ten of Cups talks about how you feel accomplished through a multifaceted way. So you're going to feel accomplished in career, right? You're going to feel accomplished in love. You're going to be feeling accomplished with family, the family that you're going to create in the future, or maybe already have created, depending on what age you are again. But wow, the amount of freedom that you still feel like you have. It's almost like that in this relationship that you're gonna have, there's gonna be this sense of freedom where you can really be yourself and you are accepted for yourself and you accept them for themselves. It's like this real unconditional love. Like you guys are going to experience unconditional love with your divine counterpart, like divine feminine masculine energy. The lovers right here, this connects to the sign of Gemini. That talks about the fact that you feel like you found your twin. You feel like you found your divine counterpart, right? So, whew, beautiful. Let's see what else we got. Queen of Cups talks about like really deep emotion that you guys will feel. Yeah. This is all really good. King of Pentacles talks about money and career. So yeah, those things are really successful. And you're going to notice that's very tied to letting go of a bad relationship at some point of your life. So yeah, anyway, next few cards, guys. Let's get into the next few cards. We got knowledge, we got magical powers, and we have, look at that. Look at that, guys. The oracle cards never lie. They always repeat exactly what we've been talking about. So knowledge coming in. So this one, we kind of haven't talked about this quite yet. So the fact that we have knowledge coming in. Another one of your biggest successes in life is the amount of things that you're going to learn, the amount of knowledge that you're going to attain. So you guys might be in school for a long time, for example, or you guys might feel accomplished because you spread knowledge in some format. So maybe you guys are going to be a teacher, maybe you guys are going to be a way shower, maybe you guys are just somebody who likes to share the knowledge that you guys have learned, or maybe you guys are just somebody who's an avid reader and learns a lot for themselves. Whatever the case may be, you're somebody who has and will be very proud and find success in the amount that you research and learn this lifetime. The next card that we have is magical powers. So you're going to find a lot of success in a lot of maybe esoteric things. And magical powers it can come out in many different ways. So you might find success with your intuition, for example. You might find success with, another one of like the sort of more esoteric abilities that people have. So I think another one of your biggest successes comes from your ability to dive into things that have not yet been maybe figured out by science. Science might be on the verge of figuring something out, but knowledge with magical powers, magic is this idea of something that is unexplainable, like it happened in an unexplainable way. And so I think that you are going to experience in your life a lot of unexplainable magical things happening, and you might dive deep into the knowledge of like, ooh, like what is this? I can't explain this. Like a lot of miracles might happen in your life, or you're very interested in learning about things that science cannot yet explain. You might be on the forefront. You might find a lot of success in exploring topics that science has not yet figured out. Maybe you guys are going to be even into science and you guys might be on the forefront of it, talking about subjects that you can be the forefront of a new sort of ideology for the world that and you guys end up maybe like finding a way to prove it, for example. So yeah, interesting card. Then we also have this love card, which again kind of reiterates what we were talking about in the beginning. So this talks about really, again, finding your twin counterpart. I think one of your biggest number one successes this lifetime is the love that you're going to create. It's like you literally find your partner that you're like, I just want to spend forever with you type of deal. Like it is divine. And we get so many like birds flying, like she's holding doves, dove. Doves are the lovebirds, right? So, you guys are finding like that total divine counterpart. All right. Next few cards, we get poet. So expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Ooh, so one of your biggest successes. Some of you guys, one thing that I'm kind of getting from this card is that some of you guys are going to be interested in esoteric stuff. Maybe you guys are going to get into symbology. Is that the word that I'm looking for? When you guys kind of like research into things that, again, science has not yet figured out, like symbols and things that are like we need to kind of uncover mysteries. I don't know why I keep hearing like uncovering mysteries for you guys. But yeah, expresses soul insights in symbolic language. And again, look at these doves again. What is with these white doves all over your guys' reading? Like, come on, lovebirds. Like, look at these lovebirds again. So yeah, again, it's a kind of like expressing your heart in a way. It's almost like an unspoken language, and there's an unspoken language of the universe. If you guys have ever read the book The Alchemist, I just finished reading that. That book is phenomenal. It kind of talks about the language of the universe, like the secret language of the universe that doesn't even go based off of language. It goes based off of more of like an observation, more of an intuitive, esoteric way of reading into the world. And that might be something that you guys end up diving into at some point of your life. Highly recommend reading that book if you don't know what I'm talking about, but like, ooh, it kind of explains the feeling that I'm getting from this card. Then we also have the Hermit. Seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. So you guys are somebody who probably doesn't like big crowds. You don't like hanging out with a ton of people at once. You guys are more of a person who likes to be alone. Because that's when you feel you're most creative. And so I feel like you guys are somebody who works on your own. So one of your biggest successes, I'm getting the vibe that you guys are going to work for yourselves. For one, because the fact that we have this Hermit coming up, and it talks about your personal creativity. So this makes me feel like you guys are going to be successful in creating a business on your own. You're not going to really work for another person. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from this card hugely, is that one of your biggest successes is going to be your own business and working for yourself. Then we also have the Martyr, which is learning the transcendent, pronouncing that weird. Learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. So you're somebody who desires to really help people, wake people up, give a lot of energy towards, being a way shower, being a leader. Yeah. Then we also have, ooh, look at that. We had that knowledge I was talking about, kind of like being a student or like a teacher of some kind. So humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. You guys are totally a lifelong learner. You're somebody who is interested in constantly being curious about the world, because I think that you're somebody who realizes that learning never ends. Like, you can never cap off. You can never know everything. So you're somebody who's like a very curious person, who I think is going to be somebody who studies a lot into a lot of different things. You guys also may be somebody who shares a lot of that knowledge in many different ways too, right? So being a poet. So this is kind of like being an artist, expressing things in a medium or in a format that maybe isn't, as normal as like, maybe you guys aren't, poet can be maybe writing a book or whatever, but symbolic language can be like art or music, for example, things like that. So, yes. All right, so then we have To the Sea. So you guys might be huge travelers as well. We have number 7, which talks about spiritual knowledge. So this could be just diving deeper into spirituality or to esoteric stuff or to just knowledge and enlightenment in general. But To the Sea makes me think about travel for a lot of you guys. So it might be another place where you guys find a lot of success in. Then we also have Higher Power. So this is like unlocking a lot of knowledge and enlightenment. So I think that you're somebody who is going to unlock a lot of knowledge, for lack of a better word, in this lifetime. I know I've said that a lot in this reading, but like, yeah. Also having a connection to just like divine energy in this lifetime is going to be a huge success for you guys as well. Just like feeling like you can channel in information, that you just understand the world, because I think that you guys are going to get to a point where you've learned so much to where you can almost just like figure it out on your own just by deep thought. So yeah, interesting stuff. So with that being said, we're also going to take this deck of cards. We're going to shuffle this and see if there's any last information for you guys. So pile number 3. Any last information for pile number 3? All right, let's see. There's a lot of cards that want to come out, so we're just gonna do it. We're gonna go through it. So we have Repairing the Veil, Forgiveness. This is about letting go of your past and forgiving your past, I feel like, and healing from it, and realizing that it's gonna actually end up being one of the best things that ever happened to you. All right. Then we also have the Divine Feminine Cosmic Womb. So this talks about giving birth to brand new ideas. This talks about being very creative. So one of your biggest successes is going to be what you create on this planet, what you actually create on your own. And I think that you are going to create a lot on your own. This could also talk about having children as well. So maybe your children are going to feel like your biggest success as well. Then we also have empty well, time to replenish. So I think that you guys have this like constant hunger and thirst for more of this, more of that, more knowledge, seeking more. Like, you know that knowledge is endless. You know that life is like this endless kind of thing that we could endlessly explore. And I think that this card gives me adventure vibes for you guys. Like, I feel like you guys are adventurers and explorers on multiple different mediums. Like, that could be with knowledge or with the actual physical world. Adventurers and explorers, okay? Then we also have the horned cactus, resourcefulness. So another one of your biggest successes is your ability to save for a rainy day. I think that you guys end up living life in a very resourceful way, like, so that even when you're going through hardship, you still have everything that you need. And you always feel like you have everything that you need. You take very good care of yourself. That's going to be where you find a lot of success as well. Then we also have watchers, so transpersonal. We're going to come back to this card. This one's giving me a whole vibe, but I need a second to think about that one. So then we have protecting the future. Ooh, I think that you guys are going to... Total vibe between these two. This is like being able to foresee where our world is sort of headed. Let me hold these cards down here. I think that you guys have a very... Because of your knowledge, you can kind of see where the world is heading. And you almost feel like you need to help that direction go into a good direction rather than a bad direction. So it's almost like through your own knowledge, through your own observation, because I think that you guys are very observational, and that's, again, one of your biggest successes in life is going to be your ability to foresee things and see very deeply into things. So watchers, the transpersonal, it's like, because you, as above, so below, right? So as you reflect internally, you understand like human nature better than ever. I think that you guys are very observational and you're very deep with the way that you feel and see things. And you guys are going to, one of your biggest successes is going to be the fact that I think whatever you do in this world, whatever business that you're going to end up having, is going to be something that I think helps the world in many ways. Even if you guys don't feel like it does, even if it feels like it's a small impact for you guys, it's something that really leaves a footprint behind on this world and helps inspire other people to take things even further and to push our world in a good direction. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 3. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future. And if so, whoa, I keep almost knocking these down. I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you guys a lot. Bye. All right, so group number 4, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about your biggest successes in life. So let's hop right into it. All right, my loves, so pile number 4, let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. We got the 9 of Swords for you guys, 10 of Swords, Ace of Cups. We got the Tower. We have the 6 of Swords being reversed, and we have the World at the end. Ooh, I get like such big energy for this pile, you guys. Oh my goodness. Let's get into it. So first off, a couple things that are really sticking out to me. If we look at the 10 of Swords right here with this heart and the star in the center, and then the Ace of Cups almost has the same thing on the center of this card. So these two are like really sticking out. Let's see if we can like really focus in on exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, these two cards are very connected right here, and it's really sticking out to me. So I think that this reading is requiring a slight backstory into your successes. So we're going to get into your successes in a minute, but one thing that's very apparent to me in this reading is that your successes comes because of some experiences that you're going to go through or already have gone through. Again, it depends on the age that you're listening to this, because it is a general reading. So depending on how old you are when you're listening to this, you may have already experienced some of this, and some of it may still yet be coming for you, but use your intuition to figure out where you kind of sit on this. But for example, this 9 of Swords and 10 of Swords, there's going to be a moment in your life where it kind of seems like you're putting your heart out there, and you're really open. And I feel like this is in your younger years when you're just like really open and free loving and free giving with your heart. And you guys have such a big heart, but it's almost like maybe you guys are struggling with anxiety or something, or maybe you get kind of like heartbroken early on when you are younger. and it might cause you to be kind of scared to open up. But one of the most beautiful things, one of your biggest accomplishments is going to be when you do finally decide to reopen your heart again. And I think the reason why you had your heart kind of broken in the past is because you didn't know what real love was yet in your life. But one of the greatest accomplishments that you guys are going to have, one of your greatest successes, is finding true love and what true real love is with this Ace of Cups. This Ace of Cups coming up, this is finding what real love is, that has a real strong foundation, that's very secure. And you guys are going to eventually find that. But I do think early on in life, you guys kind of go through this time of like maybe your fair share of toxic relationships, to say the least. But it's there to teach you the difference between real love and not real love, okay? So one of your biggest accomplishments in the future is actually finding real love and being able to express that and give that fully, and to be able to experience that and immerse yourself into it, dive into it fully with somebody, okay? I also think that your successes are going to come very unexpectedly in life, and they're going to come at very random moments. And we do also have this world right here, and this is all about like a huge waking up. It's almost like through life, you know, you kind of live the first little bit of your life in a bit more of a naive way. And it's not even your fault. It's kind of like you guys go based on what you were raised to believe. But what you're raised to believe, you're almost going to go through this sort of moment of breaking down what you used to believe, breaking down what your family has taught you, breaking down what you thought the world was. And it's almost like this whole restructuring that's going to happen in your life. It's going to lead you to the most success. It's almost like you've been living life in the way that society has expected you to live it. But there's also been this sort of tension, because even when you try to live life the way that people expect you to, it still leads you towards like stress, anxiety, heartbreak, all sorts of things. It's kind of like it's been slapping you in the face. It's kind of like you guys were born onto this world, and in the first part of your life, it kind of feels like the world is kind of slapping you in the face for doing what you've been told to do. And you're kind of like, why is life this way? What is this? And there's kind of like this whole big breakthrough that's going to happen. And you're going to realize that your whole foundation of what you thought life was is not the way that life actually is. And it's kind of like this whole spiritual awakening in a way where you're like, oh my gosh, the way that society says things are isn't even the way things are. And it's like this whole huge just like download and like chakra awakening of when you're just like, whew, it's like this whole zap of energy. And you're going to realize, and it's going to help you let go of anxiety. It's going to help you live a stress-free life, because you've already been through what stress is, and you're going to realize why that stress was there. And you're going to realize how to get rid of it, okay? And it's going to help you navigate life so much easier. It's almost like you guys have a bit of a rough childhood, to be honest. And so that's kind of what I'm picking up from this pile, but it's going to lead you towards your biggest successes. Because of that rough childhood, it's going to cause you to have this crazy awakening, because you're going to realize that all of your beliefs, all the foundation of all your beliefs was on a false foundation. So it's kind of like when, you know, you grow up in a world where maybe your parents shelter you too much, for example. You might have had like an opposite experience to this, but I know this is just the one example that's coming to my head. So for example, living a very sheltered life with parents that like keep you super safe, and they're like, don't look at this. This is what normal is. You know, we don't do this, we don't do that. And you know, they don't even tell you about certain things of life because you're so sheltered. They're like, oh, don't tell them about what the real world is like out there. Let's keep them safe and innocent. And then, you know, you have this kind of awakening where you're like, wait a minute, life is like, what? There's so much more out there. I was like, you kept me from this, you kept me from that. This is what life is really like. This is like all these other things. It's kind of like this whole awakening, to be honest. It's like this crazy awakening. So there's certain things in life that I feel like were built on a false foundation for you guys. And that's why you've kind of noticed these setbacks. And it's because you weren't taught the fullness of life. And one of your biggest successes is going to be this awakening to what life really is. And then we have this world card, and this is like honestly the most powerful card in the deck. So let's get into it. The fact that you guys have this card, let's just look at this card for a second. This card is insanely beautiful. So this is going to talk about what those successes are going to bring you. And it's almost like you guys turn into this earth goddess, or like, you know, if you guys are a guy, sort of like this earth, I guess, god, king, or whatever, you know. And life becomes so much more connected. It's like you get so connected to the earth, the beings on the earth, life itself. It's like you guys wrap into the magic of what life really is. Okay? So it kind of starts on this false foundation, and then you have this huge awakening, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. There is so much here. I think that you guys are going to get so connected to nature and to life. It's wild, the amount of like connectivity that you have. And it's mostly towards like animals. I'm really kind of feeling like I hear the word animals for some of you guys, are like plants, nature vibes, doing things the natural way. You know, it's almost like I'm also getting an example in my head of like utilizing all of like the regular cultural things, like, you know, like toothpaste, shampoo, and all these things, and certain foods like processed foods, and not really realizing that they're bad for you and that they put a bunch of chemicals in it. And then, you know, you go through this spiritual awakening and you're like, what have I been consuming my entire life? Whether that be through the media, through food, through products, whatever. And then you kind of have this like whole awakening of like, wait a minute, this isn't what the world is supposed to be at all. We're supposed to be like natural beings. Like, we didn't really need all of this. Like, for example, like sunscreen. There's some people that tell you, and I know there's a lot of, I might trigger some people here, but that's okay. But there's, you know, there's people that are like, let's put on sunscreen every single day. You have to wear it every single day, even if you're inside. You know how many chemicals are in most sunscreens? Like, so many. You want to put that on your body every day? Like, the human body is naturally supposed to be, you know, sheltered and not sheltered, and like in the sun and out of the sun, and like walking around hunting and then coming back, you know, foraging for berries and stuff in the sun, and then coming back to your little hut, you know, in the forest. That's how humans like naturally live. We didn't have sunscreen. We didn't have none of that stuff. So why are we putting these chemicals on our body every single day? And we're told that it's going to keep our skin healthy and all this kind of stuff. Is it really keeping your skin that healthy if there's so many chemicals in it? It's like, wow, it's a bit crazy. It's a bit much for me. So it's kind of like one of those realizations, right? You know, so you guys are going to come back to the more natural self, and it's going to be one of your most biggest successes. And I think that you're honestly going to take this as far as it being connected to your career in some type of way, where you guys are quite progressive in the environment, to animals, to nature, and to the well-being of this planet, this earth, your body, yourself. And it's like really getting connected into what really matters, rather than, you know, being connected to the things that don't really matter. It's like this whole awakening, and you guys are going to be so curious about discovering more about the planet. This also talks about travel, so travel might be a huge part of your success as well. And this is something that's full of abundance. So the world card is something where you feel like you have everything that you could have ever wanted. And so another one of your guys' successes is literally going to be connected to the feeling of like, I feel like I've attained everything that I could ever desire, and the earth takes care of me, and realizing that the earth replenishes you just as you replenish the earth. And like it all goes around in a circle, and realizing the real circle of life and what it really means to be human, what it really means to be alive. You know, and I think that one of your biggest purposes in this life is to wake up the rest of the world too, because you guys will have awakened at some point. And you guys are going to desire to wake up the rest of the world too. Yes. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into our next few cards. So we also have, we got the romance card for you guys. So pile number 4, another thing, like kind of like we were talking about in the beginning, toxic relationships. I think you're going to, in your early on years, have your fair share of toxic relationships, and you're going to be learning what real romance is, what real love, romance, and passion is. So again, one of your biggest successes is attracting a beautiful romance. Like, you're going to be romanced to the nines, okay? And the world is also about being your authentic self. So there might be a time where you feel like you have to people please, for example, because the world talks about being super authentic, right? And so You might go through a time where in your early on years, you're used to people pleasing. You're used to changing yourself in order to win people over, in order to have people like you. And it's almost like in your early on relationships, you might have bent your back to please somebody else, and you realized it didn't work and that they just took advantage of you more and more and more and more and more. And then you're going to realize that you need to break free from that. It's going to be one of the biggest, most blessing things ever. And it might break your heart at first, like when this ends, when this romance ends. But it's to help you realize what real romance, what real love is. And you're going to look back on that realizing it was the biggest blessing you could have ever had, because it's going to teach you a lot about authenticity and about what it means to be your true self and be romanced and loved for being you, where you do not have to bend your back over to please somebody else. You just love and romance with somebody who enjoys you being you. Okay? And I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, you guys will understand it eventually. Okay? So, yes, my love, you're going to experience what real romance is. And it's like a blossoming flower that it just keeps going and going and going. And it's so beautiful and tender and amazing and passionate. Okay. Oh, and then look at this card. Look, we got the true love come to me. So you're going to realize what, like I was saying in the beginning, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I was saying in the beginning. You're going to realize what true love actually is. I think the love that you've experienced before was more of attachment, possession, obsession. And that is not true love. That is not unconditional love. The possessive love is the one that's very controlling, and it's like, you have to be this way in order for me to love you, and da-da-da-da, you know, it's very controlling, very possessive and obsessive. That is not love. That is a controlling lust that comes from a wound. It's not love. So in your lifetime, one of your biggest successes is going to be realizing what true love is and being able to experience true love and romance. Okay. Ooh, and then we have the sensuality cards. Your guys' is a lot about love, romance, and sensuality. Realizing your true, authentic sensuality. Maybe some of you guys have been repressed romantically or with love. Maybe you guys were told like, oh, you cannot love who you want to love, or you cannot express yourself with you cannot express your romantic side. We have to repress that. Maybe you grew up in a culture or in a family that represses that, right? And so one of your things is coming out authentically to be you, and letting your authentic passion and sensuality out is going to be one of your biggest successes as well, because it's going to help you realize what true love is once you start to do that. True love is passionate, romantic, sensual, accepting, vulnerable, beautiful. It's like an ever unfolding rose. There's so many layers, you know, to humans and to love and to romance that we get to peel back. And true love comes when we are authentic and show every single petal of our flower, right? So, and what I mean by flower is like our soul. You know, we peel back every feather or every petal of our soul and be really vulnerable with somebody, and having them love us for everything of who we are, right? That's where we get true love. And then we also have strength. Wow, you guys, one of your biggest successes is your ability to overcome adversity, obstacles. Your internal strength is like so admirable, pile number 4. Oh my goodness. It's going to help you realize how strong you are to be able to get through this, and how much you can really take on. Because I think for a lot of you guys, you don't put a limit on yourself, right? So when you're, for example, people pleasing somebody that you love, and you're bending over backwards, you're like, oh, of course I can do more for them. Of course I could always do more, but they don't do enough for me. And I wish they did, you know, but it's like, oh, I always could give more. It's like, you guys are so strong. Of course you could give more, but that's not what real love is, you know? So you're going to realize what real love is, okay, my love? It's a lot to explain, but you're going to realize, and hopefully maybe you already have realized what real love is, okay? So next few cards, we have Child, Eternal, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. So that's another one of your biggest successes, is your ability to let go and return back to a fun-loving personality so quickly and so easily. That's one of your biggest successes, is to be able to, you know, you guys have been through so much, but you guys have not lost like your fun, loving, playful self. That fun, loving, playful self is always there, and you're going to live life in a very fun, loving, playful, optimistic way. And I think that that's going to be one of your biggest successes, is your ability to do that no matter what. Then we also have a damsel. So understanding the nature of healthy romance, guys. What were we talking about? Wow, this fits in so well. Look at it, it's like looking into the mirror right here. So understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. So instead of relying on somebody to give you what you need, it's like you providing yourself what you need, and finding somebody that already provides themselves what you need, so that you do not need to bend over backwards for somebody else, because you cannot fill somebody else's cup, and you especially cannot fill somebody else's cup when your cup is empty. So you're going to realize the true meaning of the Ace of Cups. And let's talk about this right now. The true meaning of the Ace of Cups is you guys filling up your own cup and meeting somebody who knows exactly how to fill up their own cup. And then you're two full cups that can come together, and you two are both completely full, and you're not seeking each other out. You're not relying on each other or needing one another, because that's what creates a needy relationship, is when one cup is empty and one cup is like kind of maybe full, or maybe both are empty, and you guys are seeking out a partner in order to find fulfillment. The cup resembles your fulfillment. So instead, you go and fulfill yourself. Your partner fulfills themselves. You guys return together, and you guys get to enjoy and love the amount of fulfillment that each other already brings to the table. And then that's what creates the most healthiest love and romance, is when you two create your own happinesses on your own, and you come back and you get to celebrate that happiness together, and you get to experience that together. And of course, we're not always happy 100% of the time, right? And we can still be there for somebody, but they shouldn't require you and need you to fill up their cup, and you shouldn't need them to fill up your own either. So understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. You can love and experience life with somebody else, but relying only on yourself, and making sure that people do not rely on you either. So then we have healer. So passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. So you're going to desire to help other people. So one of your biggest accomplishments and successes in life is your ability to then heal other people through what you've already healed in yourself, right? So ability to transform pain into healing. So what you've experienced before in life, you are going to heal that, and then you're going to be inspired. And one of your biggest successes is your ability to then help other people realize the same big lessons that you've realized in your lifetime, okay? And then the last two cards that we have before we shuffle a different deck, we have Come to the Edge. So you're going, oh, look at wearing your heart on your sleeve. Look at that. We have all these hearts flying. Another one of your biggest successes is to be able to realize the amount of freedom that comes with love. And I don't mean freedom in the way of like talking about monogamy versus non-monogamous relationships. I don't mean freedom in that way, but I mean freedom in the ability to, you fill up your own cup, they fill up their own cup, you love each other for who they are. There's no desire to alter or change somebody. You get to choose somebody whether you like them or not, okay? And if you do not like them, then you should not be with them, because we are not here to change people into who we want them to be. We're here to find somebody who we desire to be with, and then in that, we get to live out a beautiful romance. Okay, so come to the edge. Being vulnerable, this also talks about being vulnerable. One of your biggest successes is going to come from your ability to be vulnerable and be fully, authentically you, not a people pleaser. Becoming really you. To say what's on your mind, to say what you really feel, to say what you really think. And then of course we have the card Thinker next. So look, we have the number 44 on it. Thinker. Whew. All right, so another one of your biggest successes is your philosophy, the things that you ponder in your mind. You're going to find a lot of success based on your contemplation on life. And I think that you guys are a very deep person who's very smart. You're very well thought out. You think about things very deeply. And I think that that's going to be one of your biggest successes, is the amount of knowledge and wisdom that you gain just on your own, through your own self-reflection. All right, so moving on to our last deck of cards, let's see what else we get. So pile number 4. Any last information for pile number 4? We have Skybridge, so possibility for union. So this talks about you and your partner. Okay, so let's take, this one looks like it wants to come out, mindful groupthink. So big realizations, big epiphanies. You're going to have massive epiphanies in your lifetime that are going to be some of your biggest successes. They're going to help you reach some of your biggest successes, is your way of thinking. And to fully be authentically you, instead of disowning yourself and changing yourself to people please. One of your biggest successes is your ability to own who you are and to be confident in who you are and to love who you are, to be vulnerable with who you are. Okay? Not changing yourself to people please, being very mindful of who you are, realizing who you are by thinking and contemplating about that. Possibility for union, finding your like soulmate from that. And then we also have galactic mushroom. Oh, I love that being our last card. The divine matrix. That's a huge spiritual awakening. Wow. So that's realizing how everything is connected. The divine matrix and galactic mushroom. This is making me think about the vastness that we could expand ourselves to and that we could know and how vast we are. So realizing how beautiful and vast you are and not repressing that, not disowning that. Okay? So, woo! Yeah. I'm definitely feeling like the people that you are around is going to be another one of your biggest successes, and the person that you end up really being with in the end is going to be so much worth the wait. So that is what I see for you guys. Pile number 4, you're going to experience a great romance this lifetime once you realize what real love is, and your marriage to that person is going to be beautiful, okay? So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 4. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future. And if so, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. All right, so group number 5, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about your biggest successes this lifetime. So let's talk about it. Wow, pile number 5. This one's like really powerful. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get into it. We got the Knight of Wands to start us off. Then we have the 5 of Pentacles being reversed. We have the King of Swords upright, 8 of Pentacles, Judgment, and then the 6 of Wands. So, woo! 6 of Wands automatically means success, by the way, and being celebrated for your success. So that's pretty dang big. So yeah, we do have that one right there. We also do have this 8 of Pentacles. This talks about putting in a lot of effort, a lot of work, and being very accomplished because of the amount of effort that you are going to be putting into whatever it is that you are doing, okay? The Knight of Wands right here is a lot of passion. So yes, the things that the biggest successes that you're going to have in this life, there's going to be some spontaneous stuff that you guys get into with this Knight of Wands. There's going to be some things that you do and you act upon based on your passion. There's going to be things that your soul just like urges you towards and you're like, oh, I just got to like rush into it. I just got to do it. I just got to like put myself into it. And I think that it's going to be like, you guys get these spontaneous ideas, you know, kind of out of nowhere, and they come on really strong, and they're really like, ooh, that's just like inspiring me in this moment. Okay, you guys have a heart and soul that's full of inspiration, and it really is going to be very motivating when you guys get these really big inspirations, and this is going to lead you towards a lot of success, okay? But also realizing that you cannot do everything on your own is going to be another huge part of your success, is realizing that you cannot do it all on your own. You guys are someone who, you're like a pioneer of new ideas. You guys are very innovative, you get new ideas all the time, but you're going to come to a point when you realize you cannot do it all just by yourself. And you guys kind of are, because you guys think of these ideas yourself and you're a great thinker with this King of Swords, you guys are such a big thinker. You think of ideas so well, and you're very particular and precise with these ideas. Like, they're very detailed. And that's why you like to take on the responsibility of executing these ideas and doing them, because they're so particularly, you're like, oh, I don't want to have to train somebody else to do this. I don't want to have to explain my idea to somebody else because they might not do it right, you know? But one of your biggest successes is realizing that you need to have other people help you, because I think that your ideas are going to expand to some point where you're going to need help with these ideas. You're going to need more people on your team to help you push through these ideas to completion, and realizing that sometimes when we allow other people into our circle, our ideas can expand even further, and being open to what other people have to say is going to be a huge part in your success, because you're going to realize that sometimes people do have very valuable input that does help us expand even more. So that's going to be another big part of your success, is when you start to invite other people into your circle to start aiding you and helping you in this, okay? So yeah, King of Swords, very, very smart person. Oh my goodness, very smart, very deep, deep, deep thinker, usually a great communicator as well. So there could be something to deal with speaking with your career that might be part of your success, and a great part of your success, like your charisma, your ability to develop great charisma. And I do think even if you guys aren't very good at speaking right now or communicating, you are going to be very, very good at it, okay, as the years go on. And maybe you guys are already good at it. It really depends on the age that you are when you're watching this, right? Because it is a general reading. And so depending on what age you are when you're clicking on this video and watching it, you might have already experienced some of this, or this might be still yet to come in your future. But this is someone who's fantastic at communicating and having ideas and planning them out and making them very detail oriented and very precise and particular and executing them down to a T, right? Like the precision with you is on point, okay? And then the 8 of Pentacles right here, this is like we are building something very large, and we're usually working with our hands as well. We're just like hands deep, knees deep into whatever it is that we're doing. We're going to find a lot of success, a lot of abundance. And this is also somebody who makes a lot of money, but they do also work really hard. So you're somebody who I think is going to work very hard, and you're going to be very, very proud of yourself. And there's going to be a lot of people that are also very proud of you as well. So yes. Wow. We do also have this Judgment card. So this talks about a lot of learning along the way, and your ability to go through a lot of self-transformation and your ability to absorb new information and change yourself accordingly. So I think that there's going to be a lot of self-transformation in your life that is directly correlated to the amount of success that you have, your ability to realize your own faults, your own weaknesses, and being able to transform those through recognition of them. Okay, so that's going to be a huge part of your success, is your ability to reflect on yourself and see all facets of yourself. You know, there's some people in your life that might tell you like, oh, you're this way, oh, you're that way. Being open to it is like imperative to your success and your ability to be open to that and to be able to see that and desire to transform that. And I do think that you guys are going to be more and more open to that as the years go on, and you're going to really start to self-reflect and be like, yes, okay, I can change in this way and I can change in that way. And it's not necessarily that we're changing because there's something wrong with us, but sometimes we just realize that there's more to life than maybe we currently knew, and then we encounter new knowledge that helps us expand even more. And being able to be vulnerable and humble enough to see that and desire to change ourselves, right? That's going to be imperative to your success, and that's going to be one of the reasons why you're so successful, is because you're so adaptable and you're humble enough to allow yourself to have criticism and constructive criticism and to welcome that and to actually, you know, transform yourself accordingly when we do have these big realizations. So that's another amazing quality that you guys have that's going to be directly correlated to your success. And you guys are going to attain a lot of abundance in this lifetime. Even him holding this like almost like this is a gold pentacle, even though this is the sword card, it almost looks like one of those pentacles, right? And so this is kind of like us finding the success because of our attention to detail, our attention to making sure things come out right. You know, it's like you guys don't let things slide that aren't like perfect. It's almost like being a little bit of a perfectionist, the King of Swords, because he's very particular about what he means. He's very careful also on his choice of words, because he knows that even like a slight change of the word, even a word that means like a similar thing, could alter the picture if you interchange those words. You know what I mean? So the King of Swords is somebody who's such a good communicator, and he learns to be such a good communicator because he realizes even the subtle differences when you're explaining something or when you're telling somebody something. Even the subtle differences can alter the entire message that you're delivering. Okay, so that's going to be another thing that you're very successful for, is your ability to really communicate your ideas very precisely and to use language in such a way where you are able to communicate your ideas on such a deep level that people can really understand. Okay, and then 6 of Wands, that one talks about like just pure success. Okay, so you guys automatically, like, you pick the pile of like, just like, there's a lot of success here and a lot of recognition, where I think that you're going to even have a lot of people under you that work below you. And I think one of the things that you're going to be known for, and one of the biggest successes, is the amount of people that work for you. I think that you guys are honestly going to have people that work for you. You're going to be some sort of CEO or something, or some sort of business owner, or some sort of, I don't know, just some sort of person where people come to you asking, you know, what do I do? Tell me what to do. Give me a task, you know, and you're kind of like telling people what to do. Or maybe you're in some sort of position where you inspire other people, or people come to you for advice. People come to you wanting to learn and grow and things like that. And you're kind of like a leader. I see the Six of Wands as like the leader, where people are really looking up to you. Okay, so you're going to be in some sort of position where a lot of people look up to you, and they are here to know what you know, because you're somebody who's full of knowledge, you're full of wisdom, and you're full of so much, like, you know, they see how much effort you put towards your life and your projects, and they're really inspired by that. I think you're a huge inspiration to people. That's why you're carrying the Star and the Six of Wands card right here. And it's just like a card of a lot of success and a lot of praise for your success, okay? So let's get the next few cards on here. We have the card of, oh God, guys, this fits into your reading so well. I cannot. The card of victory. That's literally the Six of Wands right here. Say less, cards, say less. Okay, so yes, you're going to be very successful. Like, one of the successful things that you're going to be successful for this lifetime is the amount of success that you're going to reach. Can you say success more in the same sentence? Probably not. But yes, wow, I think that you're going to be, it's almost like maybe winning an award of some kind at some point in your life, some sort of award with that victory card. Okay? Then we also have authenticity. So your ability to really be humble and look at yourself is going to be huge to your success. It's going to be one of the reasons why you're so successful. We also have beauty. Ooh. So this could be taken literally, for example, like maybe one of the things that you're going to be greatly successful for is, to put it bluntly, maybe even your appearance. Like, that could be one of the things on this card. Or beauty can also be in many forms. It can be in the form of personality. It can be in the form of language. It can be in the form, like, beauty takes on so many forms, you know what I mean? But I really think that you are going to be somebody who humbles yourself to such a point where, you know, you're beautiful inside and out, because you're able to look within, and you are open to transforming yourself to be the best version of you. And that's going to be one of the things you're so successful for, is really finding and becoming the best version of you. And we also have grace. So moving with grace, moving with, like, you know, people really look up to you in the way that you treat others and the way that you treat yourself. You're a huge inspiration, and that's one of the reasons why I think people are so inspired by you. I'm also going to quickly change my camera battery, because it is definitely about to die right now, and I don't want it to die in the middle of me talking. So I'm going to go change that right now. All right, so now I'm back. All right. So, yes, back to this. So let's take out the next few cards that we have. So the next one that we have is Beggar. So this confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival. So I think that you guys are going to be very drawn towards your physique, or like working out or putting in effort towards what you do. And then we have awakens the spiritual authority of humility. This is just what we were talking about. Compassion and self-esteem. Wow. So that card talks about what we were talking about with the Judgment card. Okay. So confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival. Awakens the spiritual authority of humility, realizing the importance of humility, you know, and compassion. That's why we have grace. And then self-esteem. So realizing that, you know, even though you're somebody who's going to attain a lot, realizing that you're no better or worse than anybody else that's on this planet. We also have mystic. So reveals the intimate union with the divine. So another one of the things that you're going to be greatly successful for is your ability to listen to your intuition, your own internal psychic ability. That's going to be one of your greatest successes as well. And I think that's going to be a huge part of the reason why you're successful, is because you listen to what your soul, your heart, and your gut tells you. Ooh, and then we have Alchemist. Love this card. Transformation of base motives. Doesn't even say metals here. Transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. So maybe you start out life, you know, wanting to be super successful, and then you realize the true meaning of success through humility, right? So the transformation of, you know, alchemy is the transformation of base metals into gold. And that's kind of like what alchemy is essentially. But there's also a spiritual side of alchemy, where it's kind of like the transformation of the self into divine wisdom, golden wisdom. right? And so you're going to be somebody who's very, very wise, very smart for having gone through what you experienced. And I think that you're going to be somebody who people, again, look up to you for that wisdom, because you've realized the real meaning behind, you know, why we have goals, why we have desires and all that kind of stuff. You're somebody who has so much wisdom. And I think people really look up to you for that. And people really respect you, because I don't think you're somebody who walks around flashing who you are and what you've attained and stuff like that once you've attained all these victories. You're not somebody who's going to be walking around being like, look what I got, like treat me right, you know, look what I got. You're not going to be one of those people. You're going to be one of those people who realizes that you're still a person at the end of the day, and that anybody can do what you've done, anybody can attain what you have, right? And so realizing that you're no better or worse than anybody. Yes, you've done it, but you're still humble in the fact that you are still a person, and, you know, all that jazz. I'm sure you get the point. We also have engineer. So you guys, again, somebody very smart. This also might be speaking directly to some of you guys, or this can also just be ability to give creative energy a practical expression. So finding how to make your creative dreams, your wildest dreams, into a reality. So talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. So yeah, it's like you help people get past certain things because you've helped yourself get past certain obstacles, realizing that there's a way to do anything. Engineering the way to make your dreams a reality. You're like an engineer to make dreams a reality. Making the impossible all of a sudden practical and possible, right? And then we have hero and heroine. So passion for a journey of personal empowerment. So yeah, it's like you're empowering yourself. And through that self-empowerment, through you climbing this large ass mountain, you know, you're making your impractical dreams practical. You're all of a sudden taking what used to be impossible and making it possible. That is going to be one of your biggest successes in life. And I think that's why so many people are going to look up to you in this lifetime, is because you made the impossible possible. And people are like, how did you do that? And how can I do it too? And you're going to be spreading that message through the world. Okay, so next card we have go the distance. This can talk about travel. This can also talk about your ability to climb to the top, to be able to get to the top, you know, starting from the bottom and getting to the top. And that's going to be one of your biggest successes, is the fact that you've come from the bottom to the top, and the fact that you're also going to show other people how to come from the bottom to the top. And then we have happy. So the key to happiness. This is revealing the key to happiness. Another one of your biggest successes is going to be the fact that you realize the key to happiness. You're going to figure out what that is. And I think you're going to be teaching other people what that is as well. All right, so let's get any last cards for you guys. So pile number 5, any last cards for pile number 5. So we have the dragon's horde, protecting the future. So you guys are going to desire, we have this card for another pile too. So yeah, there's going to be this desire to help the world and to help the future of other people. There's going to be, you have this sort of like passion to help the future of others. All right. And then you're also going to realize what it means to be empty and what it means to be full. What it really means to replenish yourself and fill yourself up. What is true fulfillment? What is true happiness? What is the key to happiness? And then we also have beloved, radical acceptance. Accepting who you are, accepting your past, accepting people for who they are, right? Realizing the humble humility of life. What really sets your soul on fire. You know, there's some superficial things that we think set our soul on fire. One of your biggest successes is realizing what truly sets your soul on fire. And I think it's going to be love. Okay, maybe. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 5. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future. And if so, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.